Coach Franklin?
Yeah, so first of all, I want to thank our fans for the support that we got all year long. Was phenomenal. Could not be more proud of these two young men that are sitting next to me and really all those guys in that locker room. We played our tails off tonight and really played our tails off all season. Obviously, we need to give Notre Dame and Marcus a ton of credit. They did a great job. We knew it was going to be a fourth quarter game and come down to a possession, and that's exactly what happened. So give Notre Dame a ton of credit. I wish them the best of luck moving on to the national championship. But I love every guy in that locker room. I love every person in that locker room. Proud of them. Played our tails off tonight. Obviously, we made too many mistakes that were costly. So give Notre Dame credit, and we'll learn from this, and we'll be better. Open it up to questions.
All right.
I'm really interested to see if at any point in this interview that or post-game press conference, if James Franklin going to take ownership for that last possession. I'm looking to see if he's going to try to let Drew Allen take all the heat for that interception. And he got to take the heat for that, but I think they should have just played for OT, and they went super aggressive, and it cost them.
We're going to first start with questions only for our student athletes, and we'll have just a few minutes of questions with them. Then we will open it up for questions from Coach Franklin. So now we'll open it up for questions for our student athletes. If you have a question, please raise your hand. A microphone will be brought to you. Please state your name and affiliation before asking your question. So the first question is right here.
Yeah, Johnny McGonigal, Penn Live. Question for Drew. Can you just walk us through the interception?
Yeah, I mean, I was going through my progression, got to the backside, and honestly, I was just trying to dirt it at his feet, but I mean, I should have just thrown it away when I felt the first two progressions not open just because of the situation we were in. But I was just trying to dirt it at Amari's feet, but just didn't execute what I was trying to do.
There's no way you was trying to throw that ball at Amari's feet. No way, brother. What the trajectory, the angle, the velocity? No, man. No. We're not accepting that, Drew. We ain't accepting that, Drew. I ain't accepting it. Y'all might accept it, but I ain't accepting that.
Question to our left.
Daniel Gowan, Lines 24/7. Drew, can you evaluate your performance tonight? What worked and what they might have done to make things more difficult?
I mean, we didn't win the game, so it wasn't good enough. I mean, I think it's plain and simple. So I'll learn from it. Just do everything in my power to get better from it and just grow from it.
Ooh, they not giving this young brother no breathing room. Y'all, he just lost me. He just threw the game-losing interception that led to the field goal or whatever. And they like, hey, so Drew, man, tell me how you played, brother. What? Bro, get this man some breathing room. Dang. Hey, but look, y'all better come just as hard at James Franklin as y'all coming at Drew now. That's all I'm saying. When we get to James Franklin, y'all better not, don't do no soft serve stuff.
Our next question. Right here.
A question for Nick. You had a 3-touchdown performance. Just thinking about where you played at this year. I know you're a junior, but I know the national championship game is next year down here in this stadium. Have you used that as motivation just to get back here in the same location for another chance?
Yeah. Really, I don't even know yet what I'm doing next year right now, but, I'm worried about, being with Drew, Coach Franklin, all my teammates right now, just spend the time, because, again, it's not going to be the same team as last year. So whenever that happens, it happens, but right now I'm enjoying the time with my teammates.
Question to the left.
Audrey Snyder with The Athletic. Drew, what did this season mean for you to kind of become the vocal guy, one of the leaders on this team, and what have you maybe learned about yourself during that process?
I learned a lot about myself, and I think it's a credit to the coaching staff for just allowing me to be me. I think I grew a lot on the field, off the field, so just looking forward to continuing to grow, learn more about myself, get better in any way I can, on the field, off the field. So just looking for the opportunity. I'm definitely going to learn from this, but yeah, I'm just going to learn from it and, move on and take it on the chin right now.
We're going to have two more questions for our student athletes. Our next question.
Hey, like I said during the game, especially when Riley Leonard and Notre Dame had the ball those last couple possessions, Drew Aller, as a young quarterback, has to work on his body language. You got to, man. You have to, man, because the media is going to. I already seen videos of him or pictures of him floating around looking like he crying based on that little swipe. I just saw where they got it from right there. We just did that little eye swipe. It's easy to freeze frame it and be like, man, Drew Aller in here crying in the post-game interview. So you got to work on your body language, man. You can cry when you get back to the locker room, but got to work on that.
Right here.
Adam Rittenberg with ESPN. Drew, I know third down was big on both sides of the ball. What did you see them doing, or why was it so hard to convert those third downs tonight?
I mean, coming into the game, I think they were. I don't know what they were, but they were definitely one of the top defenses in the nation in terms of just third down conversion percentage against them. But I think it came down to just executing. I thought we had a really good plan. I thought Coach K and the offensive staff had a really good plan for normal downs, third down, and red zone. But I missed a couple throws on it, so it comes down to just execution. So I mean, a credit to Notre Dame for making it tough for sure, but I think if we just execute those moments, that we would have been put ourselves in a better position. And it starts with me, hitting some of those throws.
Beautiful. I like that.
One more question for any of our two student athletes. Okay, we're going to allow them to head back to the locker room. Again, realizing the game was very tough, and it's very tough on them to be here with us now. But we appreciate them coming and joining us, and we're going to allow them to leave now at this time, and then we'll have questions directed to Coach Franklin.
Proud of you guys. Love you.
There you go.
Sorry.
Try to kiss that man, bro. What's wrong with you?
All right, we'll have questions for Coach
He definitely tried to kiss that dude on the cheek, but whatever.
Franklin right here. In the back, and then we'll get to you. I'm sorry.
James, you guys game cranked up in the first half, second quarter especially. Did they do anything to maybe slow you down in that area in the second half?
No, I mean, I think your point is a good one, right? The two biggest points of the game are, in my opinion, what you guys just brought up. Third down, we weren't effective enough on third down, and then the middle eight. That field goal right before the half was big. We almost had a chance to have a fumble recovery right there off a strip sack. And then to open the second half with them going down and scoring a touchdown and us going 3 and out. Those things, that was significant in the game. You looked at Notre Dame when we studied them. They were one of the better middle 8 teams in the country. So were we. But that was a major factor in the game. And then on top of that, I would say big plays. Just we'd make them earn it. We'd make them earn it. We'd make them earn it. And then they'd capitalize with a big play, which is again. Something that we've done really well all year long is making people earn it. And they had a good plan. Give their coaches a ton of credit. Their players made plays at specific times. But that was probably the two biggest points in the game from my perspective.
Question down front.
Bob Flounders, Penn Live. James, I know it's a tough loss. You asked a lot about the offense. Just your thoughts on what Abdul Carter was able to do in this game. Obviously, he wasn't 100%, but he was out there a lot, and he was very disruptive, and also denied Dennis Sutton against the run and against the pass. He made one of the most incredible plays to kind of give you a chance to win the game. Just those guys overall and your defense overall.
Yeah, those two guys are warriors, and they've been warriors all year long. Abdul, I'm really proud of him. He gutted it out today, showed tremendous mental and physical toughness, and was disruptive in the game. And Denai's a guy that really's done everything right since he stepped on campus. And to see him be able to make some big plays tonight at critical moments was huge. Really gave us, a chance to go win that game. So proud of our offense, proud of our defense, proud of our special teams. But the two guys that you signaled out, they deserve a ton of credit, and really, and not just tonight, all year long.
Hey, man, Abdul Carter, definitely a top 5 pick, man. If not the first defensive player to come off the board. Who knows? But Abdul, on one shoulder, was causing mayhem, havoc. Didn't matter where you lined them up. No matter what Notre Dame tried to do. It was over with, bro. So Abdul Carter, bro, you put on an amazing show, and you deserve to win that game, man. If nobody else deserved to win that game from Penn State, you and Warren definitely deserve to win that game. Definitely.
On our left.
James Tyler James from Inside ND Sports.
Hey, Tyler.
You didn't have any completions to wide receivers tonight. What was Notre Dame doing defensively that made that so difficult?
Yeah, we tried a couple early on in the game and weren't able to convert them. Tightly contested coverage. They're a man coverage team. But yeah, that's a storyline of the game. That's one of the storylines. I don't think there's any doubt about it. But early on, we had some throws, tightly contested balls that we didn't come down with. So again, give them credit.
So you just gave up on throwing the football to your receivers? Because you got some contested throws? Like, come on, man. You played it conservative the whole. That's what I don't understand about that last possession, man. Like, why would you play super duper conservative all game based on what you just said? And then you thought some kind of way you thought that what's the boy name? Drew Allard was gonna lead your team down the field. With 47 seconds left, he ain't led y'all down the field all season. At least, especially in this game, I did not see a single play from Drew Allard that would lead me to think over the course of that game that he was capable of marching us down the field in 47 seconds. It ain't all on Drew Allard. His receivers, the play. I thought the play calling on that interception was absolutely terrible. We had nowhere to go with that football. I mean, Warren was open to me. If you could have got it to the sideline a little bit better. But overall, man, that play was smothered. So I don't think the play callers put Drew Allard in a position to be successful. I don't even know why you went aggressive right there. Y'all haven't marched down the field through the air all game. So you thought you were gonna do it in the last 47 seconds? Come on, bro. James Franklin, you a clown for that, man. You a clown, bro. You definitely a clown for that.
Question in the rear, please.
James, after the Ohio State loss, your players talked about wanting another crack, needing to handle their business so they would have a chance to play late into the season. What can you say about the player-led leadership of this team and what they maybe proved with a run like this?
Yeah, when you're talking about a 16-week season now that we have in college football, there's opportunities to bounce back from setbacks. Notre Dame, was able to do it, and we were able to do it. Kept getting better as the season went on, got better, especially the second half of the season. Some big wins, some adversity that we were able to overcome, and the guys just kept battling. So I could not be proud of the young men in that locker room and the staff and how they represented Penn State in the Big Ten all season long. So they deserve a ton of credit. And obviously we would have loved an opportunity to get a win tonight and then be able to watch the game tomorrow night and figure out who our next opponent was going to be. But again, very, very proud of our guys.
Hey, the Big Ten is up right now. To be honest with you, Big Ten is up. They've been up for a minute now, actually. Michigan won it last year. I ain't gonna lie, Ohio State looking like they might win it this year, but I still got my reservations. More on that in another video. But yeah, man, Big Ten up.
On the left, please.
Yeah, James Adam Rittenberg with ESPN. You could see the emotion, obviously, on Drew's face. With everything that he's done for you guys, how do you think he'll respond, and what's going to be your message to him going forward?
Yeah, I mean, Drew is a passionate guy. He invests so much into his development, but also to his teammates and to Penn State. And he'll handle this like he handles everything else. with a first-class approach and with an investment level that's as good as anybody in the country. His jump as a year one starter to a year two starter was significant. He's got a chance to take another step next year. But he'll handle it the right way. He's hurting right now, right? Should be hurting. We're all hurting. You know, this ain't easy to get in here right after the game and have a conversation after you just poured your guts out on that field and really did it all year long. So, you know, he'll handle it great. He'll be hurting tonight and he'll be hurting tomorrow and he'll hurt a little bit less the next day and so on and so forth. But he's a committed guy that's going to do it the right way, and he said it. It may not feel like it right now, but he'll learn from this and he'll be better for it, and so will we.
Mr. Roden?
Yeah. Hey, James. Bill Roden from ESPN Amsterdam. Just, I know you've got a lot to unpack, but I'm just wondering how you feel. I mean, you've been doing this for a long time, and you get this close, play a great game. Do you ever get, just how do you feel just as the head coach?
Yeah, I wanted it for the guys. Like, you know, I wanted it for our players. I wanted it for the staff. I wanted it for Pat Kraft and Neely Bendapudi, who've been awesome. And I've been doing this long enough to know when we have the support from our athletic director and president. That's been phenomenal. So I wanted it for them. But most importantly, I wanted it for the guys in the locker room and the staff. So that's as you can imagine, there's 1,000 different emotions going on and feelings. But as the head coach, I got to put on the right face for the guys in the locker room for what they need right now, and for my family. And the sun will come up tomorrow. And the one thing I want to make sure that all those guys do is walk out of that locker room with their heads high and their chest out, because they have a ton to be proud of. There's about 128 teams that would give their right arm to have the season that we just had tonight, that we just had this year. So, doesn't feel that way right now, but there's a ton to be proud of.
Hey, I 100% agree. Regardless of the outcome, man, you know, Penn State had a great season. They didn't play well versus, I don't think they want to beat a good team all year, but they played Notre Dame tough. They probably could have won this game had they made some different calls here or there, protect their players a little bit more. But yeah, man, you can't, as a team, you can't hang your head down. I know you didn't get the national championship and Big Ten championship, but hey, bro, you still had a successful season, man. That's something to hang your hat on. Definitely something to hang your hat on.
On our left, please.
James, along those lines, how you doing? When things change in this era of college football so quickly, and next year will look vastly different than things do right now. But when you look big picture, this type of season to be at this point in the year for your program, what do you think this does in the big picture for Penn State to be at this point in the season?
Well, obviously, it was a tremendous experience for our guys, and they know they can play with anybody. And there's a lot of young guys in that locker room who played. There's a bunch of young guys that just were able to experience it. It's an experience that they'll remember for the rest of their life, this season and how it went. And there's going to be a ton of guys coming back for next year that are going to be hungry and are going to be motivated for more. You know, they've gotten a taste of what this feels like, and what it looks like, and what it smells like, and we'll all be better for it, including myself. We'll be better from this experience because there's so many guys in that locker room that have a chance to come back and use this as fuel and experience to get back here next year and the years after that.
Hey, how many players are they returning back to Penn State. You know, I know it's still new. We don't know who's going to hit the portal. We don't know who's all declaring for the draft. But roughly, how much of this team is returning for next year? And that's a huge piece of the pie as far as what they'll do next year, to be honest with you.
Season or
Also, who they bring in will be a huge piece. Like what you lose and what you get, either through the portal, JUCO, high school, coaching changes, like all those addition and subtraction are going to ultimately play a role in whatever's going to happen this time next year for Penn State.
a 3-game season or whatever it may be. But we didn't approach it that way. It was a 65-play season. Average 65 plays on offense, 65 plays on defense, and about 27 on special teams in a game. And how you approach and treasure those 65 plays gives you an opportunity to play another 65 plays. And that's the hard part, right? Like Tyler Warren, you know, big gangly kid from Virginia that we recruited as a basketball player and was committed to another school, quarterback, and he shows up here and, you know, will go down as one of the greatest tight ends in college football history, you know. Pretty cool to watch his total development. Graduate from Penn State, just get better. You know, he should be the first tight end taken in the draft. Just had a phenomenal experience, right? And I'm proud of him because he's up to like 27 words at Penn State. He hasn't really said anything. Devon Elise, you know, didn't want to come off the field. I've been with, you know, Devon's been playing for us for 6 years and 2 years recruiting them and knowing all these guys' families and their moms and dads and brothers and sisters. That's the hard part, right? Like that to me is what it's all about. I mean, I love the winning, and I know how important winning is at Penn State. Trust me, that's been made very clear to me time and time again. But to me, it's about the guys in the locker room, and it's about their development. I take so much pride in how our guys go about their business, how they grow, how they develop academically at a time in college football where that's being challenged. But I take a lot of pride in how our guys conduct themselves, how they carry themselves, the degrees they get, the type of men that they're going to be, the type of leaders, fathers. Maybe I'm old school. I don't know when I became the old coach, but I did at some point. But we got a throwback program with throwback uniforms, and I still coach them and love them. I guess like the dinosaur I've become at some point. I don't know when that happened, but to me, it's about the guys. It's about the guys and their development. So I want them to get drafted as high as possible. I understand the transfer portal is a part of college football now, and NIL is a part of college football, and we'll embrace those things too. But I want this experience to be so much more than a transactional experience. I want it to be transformational. So
I like that, James. I like that, Coach.
Again, you know, that's what it's all about for me. So
I like that, man. One of the main things I wanted to highlight in that little segment he just had was really a message to high school players. Primarily, 'cause I talked to high school. My platform was primarily designed for highlighting and discovering high school talent, and it has evolved over the years into this. But ultimately, I talk to kids every day. A lot of kids come to me saying, "I'm a this, I'm a that," which is cool. Most time, the quarterbacks are the most rigid ones on the "I am a quarterback," which is fine. And there are instances where some quarterbacks bet on themselves, and it turns out to be right. A la Lamar Jackson. Many people try to make Lamar a running back, a receiver, a DB, a safety. Many people try to put Lamar Jackson everywhere on the field, but he said, "I am a quarterback." And he's won several MVPs because of that. Now, on the flip side, we have Warren from Penn State, who was a basketball player, quarterback at the high school level, came to Penn State, and he converted to being a tight end, and he probably would have been a mediocre quarterback, but he turned out to be the best tight end to probably ever come through Penn State. Maybe, I don't know the Penn State history like that, but he is one of the greatest tight ends come through Penn State. We have other instances where people like Tim Tebow had a great college career at quarterback, you know what I'm saying? But at the NFL level, he wasn't that great. He didn't make the conversion to tight end until way, way late in his career, and it was a little bit too late, too little then. So I'm just saying, I said all that to say this: high school athletes, JUCO, any athletes, just be, stand on your convictions. But if you feel like you can, benefit from a conversion, being flipped to a different position, D linemen, a lot of D linemen end up playing O line when they get to college. They didn't want to play it in high school, but when they start putting that money in your hand, a lot of D linemen are more likely to convert to playing offensive line at the next level. So just be open to it, man. That's the main thing I wanted to talk about. Just from hearing that little piece, it just spoke to me. But I love the way James Franklin. I love his demeanor after a loss. Yes, we need him to win more games versus ranked opponents with the team he has, but you cannot take anything away from the seasons he's put together. I don't believe he should be released, let go, fired. I don't believe none of that. He's in a very tough conference. The Big Ten is up right now, and it may be up for a long time. So are you really willing to get rid of a guy? I hear a lot of people say we need to get rid of James Franklin. You know what I'm saying? And I can see why you would say that. But who you gonna bring in right now that's gonna bring you right back to the quarterfinals? You know what I'm saying? Because you can get rid of him. Because you get rid of him, you potentially lose a lot of players out their locker room. Like they said, the transfer portal is real, NIL is real, and if you don't know, if a head coach gets released to let go or fired, they can open up a special portal window for those players or that team for I think like 30 days or something like that. After a head coach gets fired, you can hit the portal. So, you got to be careful about trying to get rid of people. Who you gonna bring in that's gonna, equal this output and get you more? So it's risky.
Final question on the left.
Thank you.
James, your first scoring job, you guys got down to the 4 but had to settle for a field goal. What went wrong that you guys weren't able to punch it in there, because you guys were able to punch it in when you got close to the end zone later in the game?
Well, I don't need to talk about, I'm not going to talk about specifically, obviously, what happened on that play. But first of all, you got to give Notre Dame a ton of credit. Al Golden, Penn State grad, you got to give him a ton of credit. We watched him on tape. We had so much appreciation for how they play defense, and they make you earn it. And we had some opportunities that we didn't capitalize on, and we'll go back and watch the tape and struggle with it and be upset because there's things that we could have done better. But again, it's the game of football is about execution. You call your defense, you call your offense, and whoever executes it better on the specific play called, they have success on that play. And the more plays you put together like that, the better. They got a ton of talented guys on scholarship as well, just like we do. And we came up just a few seconds and a few inches shorter than they did. But to your point, I mean, I think in games like this at this point of the season, everybody wants to pick out a specific play. There's probably 8 to 12 plays in that game that if we could have found a way to make a few more plays in that game, I mean, we're that close, right? It's a game of inches. So I'm not going to, call out or talk about specific plays or specific players, because there's a ton of plays that we're going to look back on it from that game that we could have did better, and that we should have did better, and that we could have called better. So it's all of it, but it starts with giving Notre Dame credit. That's a good football team. We lost to a good football team. That's led by a good man. I don't know Marcus very well, but he's a class act after the game. One of my good friends, Jared Parker, worked for him. He thinks He thinks he's the best, thinks he's a great guy. So if you're going to lose to somebody, I don't want to lose anybody, to be honest with you.
I won't lose nobody, but if I did.
But you got to give Notre Dame credit, and I know Marcus will do a phenomenal job, and I'm happy for him and their university.
So there you have it, folks. James Franklin. I am the James Franklin Penn State post-game interview for the game versus Notre Dame. I am a little shocked they didn't ask any questions about the decision to be aggressive in the last 47 seconds of that game, which led to the interception by Drew Aller. I am shocked they didn't press him on it. I feel like they went after Drew Aller, and I don't like that. Y'all went after the player way more than y'all went after the coach that put him in that position. But hey, man, it is what it is. I don't like that. I mean, I think you should, if you're gonna get after the player or the kid, you need to get after the head coach as well. And they did. I don't think the reporters did that. But like I said, I don't think James Franklin should be released or fired or anything like that. He needs to produce more versus ranked teams and things like that. But you know what I'm saying? The production is there. It's there. You know what I'm saying? I get why people say we need to get somebody who's going to do whatever X, Y, Z. But I mean, look, man, y'all was top 4 in the entire nation out of 100 and what? He said 28 teams that play at the FBS level, compete for that national championship. Y'all was top 4. What more can you ask for? I mean, obviously you ask for a national championship bid and a national championship win, but I mean, you're gonna really get rid of a coach that got y'all top 4 in the nation? I don't think so. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments below.